Not all stories are about success, and nobody gets to the top without first spending some time at the bottom. I'm Paula Howley, and this is Rock Bottom Stories. Today's guest has a deep understanding of what rejection feels like. He was one of 9 children, but the only one who was abused. Now, he says, you don't have to seek others' acceptance. All you have to do is accept yourself. Let's find out how with your hosts, Rafiq Ahmed and Dave Ross. Rock Bottom Stories. It's something new, and it's all about you.
Wow, you definitely make us and our guests feel like we are celebrities. Thank you so much for that introduction, Paula. And welcome to all of you to Rock Bottom Stories, episode 3, where we will be bringing you something new, and it will definitely be all about you. I am your host, Rafiq Ahmed.
And I'm Dave Ross, and I too want to welcome you to Rock Bottom Stories.
Wow. Dave, we, the viewers, are so excited. Please tell us who our guest for today is.
This is the story of a boy who dreamt of wearing his red stilettos. A story of how poverty, abuse, and rejection pulled him down, and how he managed to stand tall in life. This is the story of Mr. Red Stiletto, Joseph Amande. And in this episode, he'll share with us the most important lessons from his rock bottom. Rock Bottom Stories welcomes our guest, Joseph Amande. Welcome, Joseph.
It's a pleasure to have you here on our episode, Joseph. It takes a lot of courage. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you very much, Dave and Rafiq. I am happy and honored to be interviewed by the world champion of public speaking, Dave Ross, and a champion speaker yourself, Rafiq. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you for coming. But we want to start to get into your story. So could you tell us who Joseph is and where you are right now in your journey?
Sure, Dave. I believe I am in a place where I want to be. I am happy and I am successful in my own right. It may not be in terms of money or fame, but I am successful because I know who I am. I know where I want to be. I know my direction. And the good thing is I am putting an action to it. So professionally speaking, I am a training and development specialist for a FIFA project here in Doha, Qatar. I've been here for 6 years. Now, passion-wise, I'm a motivational speaker and a trainer. So I inspire people with my speeches, one story at a time. I also help people find their story or their message and help them develop their self-confidence to share it to the world. So I am known here in Qatar as Mr. Red Stilettos. That is after winning a speech contest in Red Stilettos. So I claimed it. I am Mr. Red Stilettos.
Amazing, Joseph. I don't know about being Mr. Red Stilettos, but you are definitely Mr. FIFA, because our listeners and viewers are probably wondering, can we ask Joseph for a free ticket for the World Cup football? Joseph, just before you join us on air, we were looking at a few clips of your childhood. Can you tell us a little bit more about your childhood?
Of course, Rafiq. First of all, I'd like to say that I love my family. I love my parents, my father, my siblings, my relatives. I would not change them for the world. But I cannot deny the fact that I grew up, you know, um, like it was difficult for me because I come from a large family. I am the sixth child in the brood of nine, and my parents didn't have a stable job. So at an early age or a young age of 10 or 11, I had to help my parents. I sold vegetables in a wet market. And if anything, I didn't, I wasn't shy about it. I didn't mind selling vegetables in a wet market. And if anything, I think it helped develop my values, my character as a person. At a young age, I already know how it feels to be of help to your family. The issue there was, despite me being helpful, I or my father would not or could not accept me for who I am. And I became the target of his manly ego. Like for my lightest mistake, he would call me names. His dehumanizing words shredded my innocent mind, and at times his impulsive fist would land on my fragile body. So at a young age, or at young Joseph didn't understand what was going on, so I became rebellious. So from being an honor student or consistent honor student, I became consistent in the guidance office. I started smoking and drinking. And in fourth year high school, when my report card um, was ready for the first grading, my mom saw my grades and she knew that I would not be able to graduate from high school. So what they did is they transferred me from Manila to the province.
Tell us about when you reached your rock bottom.
You might think that being away from my abusive father, that was like the end of my unhappiness. But I think it made it worse because to my parents, maybe it was like a rescue for me to be able to graduate. But to my young mind, young Joseph, it was like an abandonment. I could not understand how could a father or a family or parents like abandon their own son. I could not understand that. In the province there was no electricity, at least during my time. So I would spend my nights staying outside, like staring at the moon, at the sky, at the stars. And I remember one night I caught myself staring at the beautiful moon, and I heard an inner voice saying, "No, Joseph, you can't be in this darkness forever." That realization that nobody else can help you but yourself started my ascent from the rock bottom. That was the beginning. So I promised myself that I would graduate, I would get a degree, I would get a job, and I promised that they would not hear from me again. That's what I did.
Definitely, Joseph. It's tough when you are being abandoned or asked to stay away from your own family. And this was definitely your rock bottom moment. While being there, what were the lessons that you learned?
When I was in the university, because my grandmother, bless her soul, she could not support me in my studies. So I had to find a way. And in the Philippines, beauty contest is popular. So I entered that arena to support my studies. I remember my friends, my competitors telling me, Joseph, this is not quiz B, it's a beauty contest. So please. The reason for that is for some reason I would always ace the question and answer portion. So I would bring home the crown and I would use the prize to, pay for my school fees. And because of that, I was able to graduate. Now, I learned a lot of lessons um, in joining beauty pageants. Firstly, looking back, I feel that it exposed me to public speaking. I feel that during those time, I was able to practice my public speaking skills. But more importantly, while I was abandoned by my own family, I found or I got to choose my family in my friends. And this is one of the meaningful relationships that I had growing up with my friends in the beauty pageant world. And it is important. This is one of the ways for you to be able to stand tall in life, to have a support group.
With your independence, did you
Mhm.
ever reconnect with your family at some point?
Yes, I remember like walking, you know, how would I say, with my independence, like I was able to buy what I want, eat wherever I could or wherever I want to eat. I was also able to travel, but at the end of the day, I would feel this emptiness in my heart. One day, I saw this boy walking on the street, and you can tell that he's a homeless boy. I asked him if he's all right, how is he doing, and he didn't say a word. He just stared at me, and there in his watery eyes, I saw my reflection. And I remembered the young Joseph. I remembered the laughter that we had at the dining table when I was young with my family, celebrating Christmas. Although my father was abusive towards me, we still managed to, have those moments, happy moments still. So I remembered that, and I could not help myself but call my parents or call my mother to be specific. I did, and I heard once again her frailty voice, and she said, Joseph, is that you? That moment when I heard my mom and when she said this beautiful, the most beautiful phrase I've ever heard in my life that changed everything. She said, Joseph, you don't need to be accepted by others. You only need to accept yourself. Stand tall. That was that was life changing. All this time I thought that my mom was with my, what or was with my dad in kind of like abandoning me. But I realized that if I was suffering, my mom was suffering more. And I could tell it in her voice and in the way she comforted me with those words. So yes, I reconnected with them when I was already working. And yeah,
So you don't need others to accept you. All you need is to accept yourself. Very powerful, inspiring words coming from your mother, Joseph. Tell us, if someone were to go through the exact same situation as you were in, you found yourself in at your rock bottom, what would be your advice to them, to those of them watching us and hearing us right now?
that life will knock you down. It will knock you down many times, but stand tall. stand tall in life, and you can stand tall when first of all you realize that nothing will help you or nobody else will help you but yourself. You can also stand tall when you learn how to forgive. And when you forgive, you don't only forgive the people who have hurt you, but also yourself. And just like what I did, I pursued my studies. Education still remains, an important or a very powerful tool for personal transformation. We don't educate ourselves for titles, but to know better, to be able to navigate through this challenging world. And lastly, to accept yourself. That's that's my main message in this interview. To accept yourself, to embrace your authenticity and live your truth. Because when you do that, you claim your happiness. You claim your happiness.
Being different, Joseph, at a young age, and knowing that you were different, accepting it. What inspired you, or who inspired you to actually accept this difference and stand tall?
With all my experiences, I feel that I could use my voice to inspire other people. So even at a young age, I've already wanted to share my stories, share my experiences, to inspire other people, to motivate them, to let them know that they are not alone. That is the reason why I took up education. That is the reason why I joined Toastmasters, to develop my public speaking skills, because I believe in the power of our stories. Each one of us has a story, and that story belongs to others more than to us. So that has been my inspiration. I will not allow life to pull me down. Rather, I will stand tall because I have a purpose. And what greater purpose is there but to be able to, be of inspiration to other people? I think storytelling, when you share your story, it's the simplest but greatest way to connect and contribute to something beyond yourself. So that is my inspiration in life.
Joseph, before the show, while we were discussing with you, you told us something about your interests and something that you do right now. You're a mentor and a coach to many, and you are also the initiator of this concept called Stand Tall for Passion. Tell us
Yeah.
more about this.
Yes. I just recently launched my brand, on Facebook and on Instagram, and it's called Stand Tall for Passion. It's a training with purpose. Now, what I do is I help people find their message and develop their self confidence to share it to the world. When they attend this training, not only they get to find their story and develop their self confidence, but part of the revenue that I will get from this training will go to the Hill to Heal scholarship program. As a teacher, education is my advocacy, and as I experienced how it was working while studying, I would focus on working students, working children. They deserve to go back to school. So that is my advocacy. Um, Before I started to launch my brand, I already had informal, coaching or mentoring with people. I had a public speaker or a contestant in a public speaking contest who won after I coached him. And I also have like a beauty queen who joined Mega World International here in Doha, Qatar, and I coach her in question and answer, in the on how to walk on the runway, and also someone, a nurse who could not pass her IELTS exam. So because of my experience in public speaking and my degree in English, I was able to coach her. And at her fourth try in taking up the IELTS, she made it, and now she is the nurse in the United States. So those are just some of my success stories with my Stantle for Passion program.
Joseph, we saw a portrait of your family with you, your mother, your father, and all your siblings all in that same frame. And I was just curious, and I'm sure our viewers are also curious. Tell us a little bit more about that portrait and tell us more about the people in that portrait.
Sure. So it's a one big happy family now, at last, or finally. When I went back to Manila, I had the opportunity, the time, or chance to rekindle or reestablish my relationship with my siblings. So I am happy to say that, despite our poverty, our economic status, we were able to graduate from college. So I have a brother who is a police and or a policeman. I have a brother who's an engineer, teachers, a nurse. So all of us are professionals, and thanks to you know our parents, to my parents, because despite all the challenges that we had, I think it made us stronger and better individuals. So, uh, if anything, those challenges became blessings for all of us. So, I love, that is why I say, and I will say it again and again, I love my family and I would not change it for the world.
That's wonderful. Now, I do have a question. What is the meaning of the red stiletto?
Unfortunately, I don't have my red stilettos with me right now, but I'll tell you the meaning behind it. It's very symbolic, it's very meaningful. Now, red stiletto is the symbol of my uniqueness. And I believe that each one of us has a pair of red stilettos, your uniqueness. The question is, are you standing tall? That's basically is the meaning of red stiletto, uniqueness, and you have to stand tall.
Wow, wonderful. Joseph, I think to sum this up, accepting who you are, whether you are unique, whether you're different, or you are common like the others, the challenge is to accept who you are and stand tall. And if I can pick the words of your mother, you don't have to seek approval from others. The only
Mhm.
approval you need is your own. Truly inspiring, and I hope everyone watching us right now are inspired by this message and will help them come out of their rock bottom. It has been our immense pleasure to have you in our show to inspire all of us. Thank you so much, Joseph.
My pleasure. Thank you very much, Dave and Rafiq.
It's been our pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much. And I'm sure, again, as Rafiq said, your message will resonate with many people and help others. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that was our guest, Mr. Red Stiletto, Joseph Amande. We thank him so much, and we thank you for joining us as he shared his words of inspiration.
It's been our pleasure to have you all follow us on our Facebook page. And it's been our pleasure to share with you our YouTube channel where you have been following us as well. And we would like to thank you for that. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And do not forget that we are listening. And perhaps you could be our next guest at our next episode.
Thank you so much again. And I hope that you too will come back to Rock Bottom Stories, because this is something new and
it's all about you. Until then, stay blessed.
thank you so much. Bye now.
Thanks for listening to Rock Bottom Stories. Do you have a rock bottom story you'd like to share with Rafiq and Dave? Visit our Facebook page, Rock Bottom Stories, and tell us about it. Don't forget to like and share our page, and listen next time. I'm Paula Howley for Rock Bottom Stories. It's something new, and it's all about you.